Hey everybody. On this episode of Gaming and Collecting, me and Alex are going to be taking a look at the Pokemon anime, going over mostly the early episodes and just kind of recounting some of our earliest memories with the show. But anyways, guys, on with the episode.
Minion,
How you how you been?
minion, minion,
She's
minion.
she's eating a minion popsicle because she has a weird
No, it's
obsession with
not a
minions.
popsicle. It's like one of those Gumball Isonic treats.
So
It's
like an
really
ice
tiny.
cream on a stick.
On a stick. Yes, that's not a popsicle. A popsicle is like what I usually eat. Different.
Whatever. It's one of those cursed ice creams that you get out of the sketchy ice cream truck. Yes.
I found it at my local grocery store.
I thought you were going to say I found it on the ground
No,
and
that's
ate it.
only donuts, Bill. How could I come?
Or Kraft mac and cheese, apparently.
Mm-hmm.
I guarantee you at Retro World, we are going to
We
find
should try
Kraft
and
mac and
find
cheese.
some. We should
I
look for
bet-
some of the gosh.
I bet you'll find it somewhere in that building.
That's our goal. To find at least one thing of Kraft mac and cheese.
But yeah, this has been a week so far.
Yeah. Anything. How are you recovering?
Oh, from my teeth? I can
Mhm.
eat pretty much perfectly again, so.
Do you feel like stitches?
No, I think I had those dissolving ones and they kind of just dissolved.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Are you still using the swish swish?
Yeah, they said do it for it was like 48 days or something, so.
Oh, okay. It's a long time.
Yeah, it was like either that or like 28.
Hmm.
But
But you're feeling better?
yeah, I mean it's still weird. Sometimes like I'll bite something and I'll like the food will be like stuck back there and I'll be like, that feels weird.
Hmm.
Because there's like a
Yeah.
gap now, but I'm getting used to it. My stomach was all fucked though after I started eating regular food again because it was like, what are you
Because you had
doing?
only ate soup for like 10 days.
Soup and like I had some noodles. I was
Yeah, exactly. A very minimal, not very changing diet.
yeah, and then I ate real food again and my stomach was like, what the fuck?
Yep.
Yeah, that's been the deets so far. Other than that, I've been doing a lot of home improvement stuff still because that's just what you do when you own a house.
Oh, yeah. Me too. We've been doing a lot of painting around here. I still got to paint one more room, but then I'll be done with painting for quite a bit.
Hmm.
Who's been her usual terror?
Yeah.
Menace. She's a menace. Menace, menace, menace. I started watching some of Black Clover again.
Nice.
I don't know why. I just felt like it. I was like, I want to watch me some Black Clover. And I did.
I got
But I
two.
skip around to like the episodes I want to watch. You know.
Yeah. I got two very rare manga in the mail today.
Manga? You get some manga?
Yeah, I got the final I got the final two volumes of Kimi ni Todoke. So
Wow.
I can finally say that one is done.
Mm.
Finally, it's another. I think in terms of ongoing series I have that are finished, the only ones I have left to complete are I have to finish Rine, Yu-Gi-Oh. I only have the first 3 volumes of Yu-Gi-Oh. And Ranma, but Ranma is going to be a long time before I get to that. What about you? Have you been collecting any manga?
I think the last update I did was I got a bunch. I think I talked about it already, but like Magi's been re-releasing, so I've been collecting that. I got all of what's out of Kaiju number 8 because I really like that show. And I really like the manga, actually, I really like the art style better in the manga than the anime. Not that I think the anime looks bad, but I kind of like how like sometimes like it just like the character designs just look better on paper.
Well,
For
yeah.
some, if the artist has like certain artistic, like Junji Ito, like his stuff, like I just feel like it never animates great, and I feel like
Mm.
it's just kind of tended to a style. Not that I think Kaiju number eight's animation looked bad, but that's just what I'm comparing it to. Of like it never really, for some artists, it never really matches up to par. And well, even like Dorohedoro, like
Yeah,
it's
well,
never gonna be the detailed level of like Dorohedoro. The anime is gonna be like of the manga.
there's a reason why they made it CGI because they just trying to do that animation wise would have been like hell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any other updates? Our mom's coming this weekend.
Hmm.
It'll be good
Yeah.
to see her. Hi,
Um,
mom.
nothing too major. Just kind of just tired. It's been a.
Can you believe it's the middle of August already?
I know.
Isn't that crazy? I get paid tomorrow. Whoa.
Same. Same. Although my paycheck's gonna suck this week because I missed a couple days and didn't get a lot of hours.
But you had to do it.
Yeah. Yep.
This might sound mean, but we have interns this summer and it's their last week and I'm so happy they're leaving. So they're so it's like a lot of work, bringing a kid in for the summer who like is gonna have to try and learn everything in a whirlwind, and like they're doing a project but you're also kind of doing the project for them as well because they don't necessarily know things. So I'm tomorrow's their final presentation and then Friday is their last day and they're gone. And
Yeah.
I'll miss them, but I'm also like, thank you for leaving. I can't do this right now.
Yeah.
I'm too busy. I have too many things.
Oh, I had a part I was working on today, and the print I got for it. If you had seen that print, you would have probably been disgusted because it was one of the worst prints I think I've gotten in a long time.
Oh, trust me, I've seen some bad ones at my job too.
Oh, I can imagine. But so like we have our normal engineer who does most of our prints, and
Mhm.
he's very good.
Yes.
This one I took one look at. I'm like, what the fuck was going on with this print? And I looked at the name on the bottom, and I was like, oh, it's not our normal guy. That explains a lot. I'm pretty sure, like, so you obviously went through drafting class in school.
Yes.
So I was joking saying if Alex's shop teacher had seen this print, she would have been disgusted. Because my
Honestly, if
God,
I had seen it, I probably also would have been disgusted because I know
you
what to
know,
look for.
you know how most like mechanical prints for like machining, you're supposed to like pick a zero in one of the corners and then make the dimensions off the corner.
Yeah.
This individual decided to just make the center point the center of the part, and then just
Eh.
jumble all the fucking dimensions off of it,
Eh.
and they overlapped, and like they just left the overlapping numbers, and I'm like,
Was
yeah,
there
that
like
looks
a was there like a circle in the middle of the part, or was it just like a square, like a rectangle?
just a rectangle, and they made the
So
centering
there was
point.
nothing. Even they were identifying in the center.
No, they literally gave the dimensions. Like
Eh.
it was a 15-inch by 3 inch rectangle, and the center the basically they made the centering point the center of the part, and then all the dimensions just went off of that. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, this
Yeah,
is stupid.
that is weird. How did they do that?
Also, a lot of their drill sizes didn't actually exist, or they were metric drills, which we don't have in the company. Like I was looking at, and I looked at the
Did you
drill
like give it
chart.
to Daryl and be like, "What the fuck is this?" Or show your
I
boss?
No, I just looked at it and went, we basically all just like made fun of the guy behind his
Yeah.
back, and then I just dealt with it because let's face it, if I say anything, it's not going to change. So
Probably. Yeah.
that what's going on is a lot of these new engineers are going. They're supposed to go through our main engineer
Hmm.
if they need something, but a lot of them are going behind his back and just dropping off prints in the room without saying anything.
Uh,
So, because they already got in trouble for sending stuff out when they're not supposed to.
Mm.
Um, but yeah, it's like it's not worth the hassle of even saying anything. So we just make fun of him.
Sometimes just gotta do it.
I mean,
Oh, and
hey,
then
if it takes me longer to make it because I got to decipher the print, that's not my problem.
yeah.
The
Well,
best is though the hole sizes were from metric drills that we don't have. So I go up, I look on the chart, and I'm like, closest drill is a T drill, which is like 4,000s above what they want. Good thing the tolerance is 5,000 because they're getting a T drill.
it's their fault for being stupid. So
Yeah,
just like, why would you choose a metric? I don't get that. That's just dumb. I am. Oh, speaking of the interns' presentations, I practiced with them today and yesterday. Yesterday was the first round, and oh my god, they were some of the worst presentations I've ever seen. Like, I was just like, you can't just say, "This is my project. Here's the results." Like, that's not how you present something. You have to be like, all right, here's the problem we're facing. Here's how we're going to do it. Here's what I did, and here's the result. Like, you have to actually have a plan, have a flow. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, oh my god, they were some of the worst things I've ever seen. And there's one kid who, like, he just sounds miserable. And I'm like, dude, I don't care what you're presenting on. You could be presenting on a rock. But if you go at it with the attitude of like, hey, like, this is the rock, like, da da da, like, upbeat, trying your best versus, this is a rock. Here's some pictures. Here's my project. Like, what would you rather listen to? The upbeat,
like
happy person, or the guy who sounds like they hate everything?
see,
I'd rather listen to the first one.
we have examples of that in both our at my job, like as well. So it's like I get both of best of both worlds.
Yeah. But like, you'd rather have the more engaging person and like people are gonna understand your project and be less nitpicky if you're more enthusiastic and excited about what you're doing versus you sound like you hate it.
Yeah,
Yeah. And then they tried to get lippy with me and I was like, dude, I'm wasting my time helping you guys because I want you to succeed.
the intern got lippy.
Don't fucking give me lip right now because
Did they
I will
re-
leave. And yeah, and then he was like, okay, I'm really sorry, Alex. And I was like, yeah, you should be.
did they not realize they're trying to get a job?
like like and I gave him a lecture and I was like, dude, like, I'm sorry, but if you want to be an engineer, guess what? You're gonna do presentations because if you want something to go through, if you want to purchase new equipment, if you want to start a new project, guess what you have to do? You kind of have to do a sales pitch for each of them. Like, not really sales, but like you have to sell it because what are you going to need with those projects? You're going to need capital. You're going to need support from other departments. You're going to need your managers, but you might need the supervisors. You might need the operator support. So you need to sell it. Like, at work, like, I come off as very like extroverted, but like really I'm more of an introvert. Like, when I'm at home, like, I just want to be left alone. And really only my close friends and like you see like my true weirdness, But for the most part, like, I'm very like I stick to myself. So, but I was getting pissed. Like, I was like,
So
I'll leave. I don't want to waste my time.
in other words, your job is safe
Yeah, well, I do a good job.
because the future of engineering and like the trades is not looking very bright right now.
No. Yeah, but that was my spiel. I had to get it off my chest.
Oh yeah, we had the
But
company cookout this weekend.
oh, you do? Oh, like just like you guys though, not like the
No,
whole
no,
company.
it was the whole company one where they have like
Oh,
the people that brought food. The company people were so apathetic this year, though. A lot of people didn't even bother. So there was a ton of food that didn't get used, so like eaten.
oh, really?
Yeah. Well, it was funny. Like I went out there and there was no line. It was literally just like the one supervisor that was like kind of just watching it. And I walked out and he's like, just you? I'm like, yeah, the rest of the tool room was already gone through. I was doing a degator and they all left without me.
Hmm.
Um
Wow.
and I got
Oh,
a
like that
cold.
was like during the shift, right? Like during the
Yeah.
day. Okay.
Yeah.
About weekend. I thought you said
No,
weekend.
not during. Not.
That's why I thought you meant like the tool room, like what you guys do on occasion.
No,
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 it was
no.
like
That
it was
would be
catered
different.
by that
Yeah, it was catered, but I guess a lot of people didn't even bother because like the morale at the company is so apathetic right now.
yeah, a lot of good people left, so and there's no direction, at least from what I've heard. I don't know.
Well, yeah,
I
they
don't
don't
know.
have
I
a
don't work there anymore.
your department doesn't exist anymore because you all quit
Well, I
or
think
went
some of them are still there. I
or went
think.
other. They either all quit or went other places. I think there's
Yeah.
one. There's like one left.
Yeah. Is it
So I think so.
okay? Poor thing. Anyways, though, we got a 15-minute intro. Let's go! We
Okay.
wasted 15 minutes. Let's get
Uh,
into our topic, which I guess you can roll into why we were inspired by our topic. Um,
yeah, there was we had some tragic, sad news for any '90s child out there who was a big watcher of anime back in the day. Um, Tragically, we lost a voice actor that's pretty well known to a lot of people. Um, One second. Uh, Rachel Lillis died. She was the voice of Misty and Jessie from the original Four Kids Pokemon dub.
did
So
she do any other roles besides
probably, I didn't do a lot of research. I won't lie. Let me bring up her Wikipedia page real quick. The sad part though is she was only 55, I believe.
Oh wow, that's young.
Yeah, and sadly, cancer, I believe, was what
Oh,
the cause of death was.
that's so
Um,
sad.
yeah, most of her roles were in Pokemon stuff. They did use her voice archival recordings in Detective Pikachu for Jigglypuff,
Mm.
which is kind of interesting.
Oh, she was a couple Hunter x Hunter characters too. Because she was
Original Hunter x
actually
Hunter or the redo?
no the remake because she was Gon's aunt,
Oh yeah,
and then she was also the announcer from one of the arcs I can't remember, and another character. Um, no, she's. I'm trying to look now. Oh, she was
she
in
did.
Berserk.
She
Oh,
did a
she was the
lot of
princess in Berserk.
yeah. She did a lot of Four Kids work. Oh, she was in Sonic X. Woohoo!
Wait, who is she in Sonic X?
Some character named Danny. I have no idea who that is. So it's probably one of Chris's friends.
She was in Winx Club.
The original. Oh yeah, the Four Kids dub.
Hell yeah. It's funny too looking at some of these like you can really tell like when she was in her prime just based on like how the shows look
Oh,
because wow, like
also her voice. She's in Super Smash Brothers. All the Super Smash Brothers games because they've used archival her archival voice for Jigglypuff.
mm. She
Also,
also
my
Goldie, Goldie,
yep,
Goldie.
and my favorite role of hers was she was in Ape Escape 2, the North American dub. Because hilariously, they made the main character in Ape Escape 2, Jimmy, is literally voiced by Veronica Taylor, who was Ash, and then Natalie, the main female in the game, was she voiced her, and it was basically just Ash and Misty, which was really funny.
That is funny.
You can't unhear it once you listen to it.
Once you hear it the first, wow, it is funny looking at the older animation. Like in the original show, she voiced a lot of like I mean, so a bunch of one-off characters too.
Oh yeah, there was a lot of
Oh, I did not know she played that character. I didn't even realize that she was Utena in Revolutionary Girl Utena, one of the first magical girl animes out there.
hmm,
That's
yeah.
funny.
Sadly though, a lot of the Four Kids actors kind of once Four Kids kind of imploded, a lot of them kind of went into obscurity, sadly.
Yeah.
Because I hadn't really thought about what most of those actors in a long time. Like I know Veronica Taylor was getting a lot of roles and like stuff because I know she was in like Dragon Ball Super at one point,
Hmm.
and a few other things. But like for the most part, a lot of them just kind of disappeared, especially after like the how just how the four kids kind of imploded. But because of her passing, we thought it'd be fitting to. We've been on kind of a Pokemon thing again, like we're covering various aspects of the series now, and we've never actually we covered it briefly and all the way back in episode 2 of the podcast.
Hmm.
Um, but we thought it would be cool to talk about the anime because the anime was very much a part of a lot of people's childhoods,
Yeah.
ours as well. I mean, I know I like to shit on it a lot, but it was still something that we all watched very religiously
Oh
for a
yeah.
long time.
I mean, I feel like the first thing we could talk about is just that intro, the Pokemon theme,
The Pokemon
and the
theme
base
song.
I know to this very day.
I mean, the original Pokemon theme, it's hilarious because the American themes were all different from the Japanese ones.
Yes.
Like it's actually funny if you listen to the Japanese theme songs because they are so different.
Yeah.
But the
Well,
original
because this was the time that like 4Kids would always change the theme song, and we got bangers like this, and then we got curse shit like the pirate rap.
yeah, or the Yu-Gi-Oh theme, which is just hilarious.
Yu-Gi-Oh!
Your move, that's that fun stuff.
It's like barely a song. It's more spoken word with like some music in the background.
It's got
not
some funk.
even-
It's got some funky bass. That's all
It
that
does,
matters.
but like it's barely a song. Like in terms of like a singy song.
So when it comes to theme songs, though, like the Pokemon anime had some bangers throughout the years. The way I kind of look at it is in the 90s, all the theme songs were 80s as fuck. In
Mm-hmm.
the 2000s, all the themes were like 90s as fuck. And then in like the 2010s, they were kind of like 2000s into like where they started just using the actual Japanese tracks again.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, the original theme song though was iconic. Like the "I'm gonna be the very best." Dun, dun, dun.
Yes.
You like, um,
I think like most people, I mean at least in our generation, um can like hear that, like you'd hear the intro and just start singing it. Or like you bring up Pokemon and their instinct is to just start singing it. So
Jason Page, the singer, he made an entire career off of that song.
yeah, it's a
Like,
good song.
he famously like one of my favorite. Like, there's been so many remixes and like just like covers of the song. Like one of my favorites is there's a YouTuber called Jonathan Young who does a whole lot of like
Mm-hmm.
music and stuff. He had done a heavy metal cover of the theme, and he actually got Jason Page to do co-lead vocals on it,
Aw, that's sick.
which is just crazy because it's so funny. Like he's aged significantly, but like he still can sing, which is
We
really
still
cool.
can rock it. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
but there was a whole like soundtrack for like the show back in the day, like the To Be a Master CD I remember, and there was like all sorts of songs.
Mm.
Yeah. But I think the smartest thing we should do is we should talk about our first real experience with the show, and that was we got to talk about the portable VHS player.
Yes. So I feel like it was when we were road tripping to a NASCAR race. I feel like that's what we were doing. Like I don't think it was Tennessee.
I
It
think it
wasn't
was no, it wasn't Tennessee because Tennessee we did the RV
we did the
trip.
RV and we had
I
DVD by then.
I want to say it was North Carolina.
I think it was one of the Carolinas. Um but I just remember this thing as being like it came in a bag. And I sent you a couple pictures. I don't know exactly if those were the right ones, but I
It,
think for the most part
it looked
it
about
was
right.
it was close enough. Um but like I remember it was in this bag and it was super long and the screen was not very big, but I remember we had a couple VHSs and one of them was Pokemon and it
It,
had a
it
couple of Pokemon
it
episodes on it.
came with a bunch of DVDs to
Okay, that's what
and so the thing to picture this like this
VHS.
yeah
VHS, not
VHS
DVDs.
yeah this so this the race we went to was in 2001. Post 9/11, I remember, because I remember going through New York. That you could still see the smoke. Um, yeah, that was a time. But
Mhm.
I remember this thing because it was long and it like had these straps that would wrap around the car, like the car
Yeah.
seats,
Yep.
and it would be awkwardly propped up. And it was kind of like a portable before. This was before portable DVD players, so it was kind of like
Well, this is before DVD.
no,
Like,
DVDs were a thing, but they
we
weren't.
did not have a DVD player. We had
Not yet.
VHS
Well,
at
no,
this
we
point.
technically had a DVD player because we had a PS2 at the house.
No,
But
I think this was very early. Like,
no,
I
it
don't think
was
we
it.
because I remember we had our giant Teletubbies.
No,
We
we
brought
didn't.
those with us.
We didn't have a PS2 ourselves, but Dad had one at the time.
Yeah, but we weren't watching DVD. Like, this is all we only had VHS at this point.
Yeah. But yeah, the thing was huge, and I remember because tiny little screen, like the majority of the thing was because the like the VCR part.
Yes.
But yeah, it came with a couple DVDs, and then we brought, I mean, not DVDs, VHSs, and
VHS?
we brought a few of our own. But I remember vividly, it came specifically with this Pokemon sampler tape, which
Mhm.
had 3 episodes in particular.
Yes.
It had, I vividly remember these because these are like permanently, because we watched this thing. I think we ended up watching it like 3 times during the trip.
Yeah. Well, because like we had other stuff, but we always went back to the Pokemon one.
Well, because that was like our first real introduction, because we hadn't really
No,
experienced the show yet.
we definitely hadn't. And it was really our first introduction to anime.
Well, I had been watching the Digimon by that point.
I get maybe. I don't know. I
You
think this
weren't.
might have
I
been.
was.
Well, at least this was my first introduction.
Because I would watch Fox Kids in the morning, and it was Power Rangers and Digimon every
See,
day.
I was watching PBS Kids. I was watching Dragon Tales.
Oh, I got a gift for you.
No, burn that.
But anyways, going back to the thing. So the 3 episodes I vividly remember, it was the episode with the fighting Pokemon like tournament where
Mhm.
it was the one where Ash used his Primeape that he had
Yep.
caught randomly earlier on in the series and couldn't do anything with.
Mhm.
He ended up winning the thing with that, and then he lets it go train, and we don't see it again for like most of the series.
Yep.
Um, the
We
second,
just say bye, Primate.
yep, the second episode was the Grimer Muck episode
Yes.
where Ash catches the Muck.
I remember that one too because it was kind of scary. Just
What-
because the building, it was like a spooky building. It was raining, and it was much not darker in term. Like when I say dark, I mean like physically dark. Like the episode was darker. So like it as a child, it was a little scary,
Hmm.
but still good.
I always remember the end of that episode because he catches the Muck and then he sends it to Professor Oak, and Professor Oak's like, "Why'd you send me a Muck?"
He's like, I don't fucking want this.
And then the final one was the Diglett episode
Yep.
with 10-year-old Gary Oak and his like posse of like adult women
babes.
that followed him around while he drove his fucking car.
Yeah, as a 10-year-old.
I will never understand that one. I mean, I don't even think they were 10 officially in the. Well, actually, maybe in Japan they were a little older, but I know in the 4Kids dub they had like hardline established them as 10.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe Gary was 10, and they just fuck it, drives a car.
Yeah, why not? He can do it. If anyone can do it, it's Gary.
Yeah, the Diglett episode I remember was goofy because there was just so much like weird shit. I just remember the gif of the guy in the constructions, like the construction helmet and the overalls, just hammering on the Diglets repeatedly, and they keep popping up.
Yeah, that one is a good. Eh. Well, and like one thing that was fun about the anime is stuff that they changed that like made no sense. Like I think a lot of people know about the jelly donut.
I caught a donut, jelly-filled donuts, and it's like for years,
It's rice balls.
for years, I thought that's what Japanese donuts were.
Nope. It's
Until
just,
you grow up and you realize, wait a minute.
wait a minute. That's not right. Oh my god. I found a picture that someone made of like that jelly-filled donut scene, but they switched the donuts with Brock's face, and they made Brock the rice ball.
Yeah, I've seen. There's been a lot of stuff like that. We can also talk about the fact that some of the characters haven't aged well.
No,
Like
like
Brock,
Brock.
like everybody loves Brock, but Brock is like, if he was a real person, holy fuck, like he would be in fucking jail.
Yeah. Oh, especially like he's following around a bunch of kids.
Yeah, he's an
Brock,
adult
stay away
gym
from the kids.
gym leader hanging out with some 10-year-olds and hits on everything that and just runs off. Um, there was some interesting ideas though early on. Like they did kind of like play around with some ideas. Like you go into the forest and like you catch the first thing you see, which is a bug.
Yep. You're
And
like,
then
yay.
and then it evolves into the metapod, and then you get the whole funny idea of like, what would happen if two metapods fought hard in battle?
And it's like it goes nowhere.
It's literally this. The joke is them just screaming hard in, hard in.
Inappropriate for
Yeah,
children.
like it's just a funny thing like that. Um, Ash also had a weird tendency of like giving away his Pokemon whenever like things would happen. Like he gave away Butterfree, he gave away the Pidgeot he had.
Yeah.
They just lets him go. It's like, all right.
It's like be free. Be
Also,
free.
he gets gifted like almost every badge.
Yeah, he like doesn't because he sucks. Like Ash sucks.
Like so many of his gym battles are like bullshit. Like the one against Brock, he fucking let's set off the sprinklers to weaken the rock type.
Like sir, I'm gonna escort you out of the gym for breaking property.
Yeah. Or he kind of fights Misty early on at her gym. I know like some of them, like Sabrina's gym's entirely a joke. Like the psychic gym with like the ghost Pokemon.
Yep.
Um he gets a few of them. I know the final gym is like a complete joke. Like that one is ridiculous how that happens.
Mm.
Uh
One thing I feel like we should especially bring up is the band episodes.
oh yeah. I mean
But
everyone
there was in Japan there wasn't as many, but in the American dub there was actually quite a few band
well
episodes
the most
for good reasons.
well the most famous one by far is Electric Warrior Porygon.
Yep, the potential seizure one.
The episode that like basically banned Porygon from existing in the anime, which is hilarious because Porygon didn't even cause the explosion. It was Pikachu. Just saying. But yeah, that episode is kind of bizarre. Like there's this whole like virtual
It was
world
like
thing.
the flashing colors though too, like the blue and red flashing.
Yeah, they were flashing on screen. I've watched the episode. It's apparently there is supposed evidence that 4Kids did dub the episode and they had slowed down like the colors significantly, but it still got banned. And it'll probably
just for safety.
yeah, it's one of those episodes like because apparently in Japan like a lot of kids like had seizures and stuff because of it. I've watched it.
I feel like
really...
I've seen it at some point. I mean,
it used to be on YouTube. Like it used to be them
too, though. I mean, like science has got a lot better, so maybe we are just better at detecting that, like the signs that someone could be at. I'm not a doctor. I don't know anything medical, but maybe just we're much better at catching it and preventing it at this point. I don't know. That can be it too. Or we just don't do seizure-inducing activities on TV anymore.
I think they've just adapted away from that because they didn't really know back in the day.
So remember too, like with a lot of old anime, especially Pokemon, like they used to, like before the episode would start, you would always get that message that was like, okay, make sure to stand a certain distance away from your TV. Like, don't sit right in front of it. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I do, because shithead kids would be like, challenge accepted, and they'd
I'm gonna stare right at the screen. Yeah.
That's why a lot of kids have fucked up eyes.
And then probably why I have fucked up eyes. See, guess we both are wearing glasses now. Another band episode I think is also kind of equally as infamous, but for completely opposite reasons. This one actually did air in Japan, not in America,
Well, no,
but
the
it's the
Porygon
Beauty
aired in
and the
Japan.
Beach episode.
The Porygon
Oh,
episode
okay.
aired in Japan. Like that's why the seizures happened.
Well, okay, so this one probably aired in other areas, but it was banned in the US, and that was the Beauty and the Beach episode. Which
Everybody
if you,
has seen this episode.
or at least you've seen a screenshot of James with tits, and you're
Yeah,
like, what the fuck?
yeah, because James is a very androgynous man at times. Jesse and James are the main villains. They're the Team Rocket stand-in for the show.
Yes.
We'll talk about them more in depth later on, but in this episode, they're undercover at the beach, even though it's very obvious it's them. But
Yeah.
James is for some reason in a bikini as well, and he has inflatable boobs, and he plays with them.
Yes.
Um,
Well, because it's a they're in a beauty contest at the beach, and like Misty's competing in it, and then Jesse and James are, and the prize must be like some sort of Pokemon or something.
yeah.
But James, why are you doing this?
There's many questionable things about that. That episode, like parts of it aired, but they cut out that entire scene. I think they spliced a few episodes together
Oh
over
yeah,
here.
it says it was initially banned, and then they eventually aired it, but then it disappeared again.
Well, they aired it and cut out specific parts.
AKA James.
Another famous banned episode was the famous the episode where he catches like the 40 Tauros or 30 Tauros. That one was mostly because the owner of the Safari Zone straight up points a gun at Ash's head at one point.
Pokemon was not fucking around. Like Jesus.
Well, it was Japan. It was a different time in like the 90s because the show started in 97, so it was a very different time. I love that the fact that episode was banned though completely fucks the continuity because it's like, where the fuck did Ash get the 30 Tauros? They just appear.
He just has them now.
Because I think that was the whole Safari Zone episode, and he ends up catching all 30 Tauros in the Safari Zone.
So stupid.
Those are the three I mostly remember.
There's also one of Jinx.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. Because they ended up actually redesigning the Pokemon as well. Because I mean, let's just face it. At first, it was a little racially insensitive. We're just gonna say, it's not like a Mr. Popo situation. Again, probably not the best choice, but I understand that it was representing like a different culture. This was just clearly like.
This is just Japan being Japan.
Yeah, and unfortunately, but it's still like, well, you can definitely say nowadays that the representation of African American people or like Black people is much better in anime. Like it's not like they're doing like the giant lip thing anymore, which is just terrible and awful.
Depending on the show, some still don't give a shit.
A lot of shows like have gotten better. Like Hunter x Hunter, like had some really great characters in there, and even in Blue Lock they had some, as well as Haikyuu. They had like good represent. It's definitely getting better.
Japan is still.
Yeah, it's not perfect yet, but like if you look at the old design of Jinx, like it, and you look at like some of the very terrible things we have done in the past. I forget what we called it. I can't remember the term, but it's very similar to that, and it was a bad choice. So it's good that they redesigned the character and pulled this episode just so we're not promoting that anymore.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of sad because as kids we wouldn't have even noticed. Like we would have just been like.
Well, yeah, like, but that's also because we're raised in a good, in a family.
Well, I'm just speaking as kids in general. Most kids wouldn't notice unless it was pointed out.
Yeah, but other people, it's not what your kids watch. A lot of parents watch.
Yeah.
It just kind of happens that way. It looks like there was a couple of other banned episodes. Like I see another one, which it says it was also banned because there was a slight appearance of Jinx. and then another one that has the same thing. But there was one in the later series, the Pokemon Sun and Moon series, where Ash was wearing dark face paint, which resembled, yeah. So that got pulled.
Yeah, that's a poor choice. I'm sure that was edited in post.
Yeah, it was. Well, they pulled the episode. Yeah.
Surprised they didn't just edit it. Anyways, yeah, Pokemon Be Wild, I guess.
Oh yeah, and it looks like there's other ones, like because I found this article. It looks like there's other ones that were banned in other areas that weren't banned in ours. Like South Korea actually has quite a few.
Well, yeah, because culturally things are different. Like you'd be amazed how many things are banned in China that you'd be like, why?
Oh, and it looks like there's some that were temporarily banned in the United States. Like I guess the Tentacruel episode.
Oh yeah, the one that was crushing buildings right around. A lot of stuff.
Yeah.
A lot of things.
Oh, the
got.
Tower of Terror.
Yeah, there was a lot of shows that were unintentionally pulled around 9/11 for reasons.
Dang. Yeah, I didn't really. Yeah.
Yeah. Pokemon Be Wild.
Pokemon Be Wild. And
speaking of Jesse and James, though, we should talk about them because they are
arguably Meowth. That's right.
Yeah, they are kind of they're kind of a trio. They're essentially the main antagonists for most of the series run. They end up being like they're basically the secondary protagonists in a way as the show goes on.
Yes.
Do you remember their first appearance where they were like really intimidating for no reason?
Yep, and then they slowly became idiots because they were always blasting off again.
Yeah, like I remember
Pokemon
like
Pokemon always hated them too.
Well, no. The first two, like they're the Ekans
well, they
and
never
Koffing.
hated them, but they were just like they sucked.
Their Ekans and Koffing loved them because that's one of the most tragic episodes in the series.
I forgot.
There's an episode there's an episode way later down the line where this is long after Ekans and Koffing had evolved into Arbok and Weezing, but they encounter like it's like a Pokemon poacher has a bunch of Ekans and Koffing like captured, and they end up letting them go to protect the all the younger ones, and it's a very tragic and touching episode that a lot of people forget about.
That is sad.
That's why they don't have them later on in the series. Aww. No, but the Pokemon are crying as they're leaving. It's like one of the saddest episodes in the series.
Aww. You know what's funny too is that James really did have a record of cross-dressing because like I'm seeing like a lot of clips. It's like they're as a bride and a groom, and Jesse is the groom and James is the bride.
Yeah, that happens.
Then, like a ballet one. It happened a lot, but you know what? He's living his best life. He's a magician, and James is the assistant.
Yeah. Which is weird because Jesse was like the fan service character a lot of the times too. It's a weird thing for a kids show.
Yeah. What were some of the other like famous Pokemon too that they had? I mean, they always had
Wobbuffet.
Wobbuffet. And I know at one point he had like a Bellsprout. Or like the big version of the Bellsprout.
Victory Bell, because it always ate him.
Yeah.
Well, actually, the Wobbuffet was hilarious how they ended up with that one because Jessie had a Lickitung for a long time, and then she ended up getting duped into trading it for the Wobbuffet. And that's why she's always miserable with the thing.
Like, I don't want you. Go away. Oh, I found their original team. Yep, with the Lickitung. Yeah, because she always had the Seviper, or what was it in the end?
Well, it was an Ekans, which evolved into an Arbok, and then after she let that go, she got a Seviper later on.
Yeah, because I see the picture of like her with the Arbok, the Lickitung, and then James has the Koffing and the one I just said that ate him.
Victory Bell.
Victory Bell.
He had a whole bunch. Like he had the Kirlia, or not Kirlia, the cactus Pokemon that would hug him all the
yep.
time. The Chimecho for a while, the Mime Junior.
You know what? I will say they always did treat their Pokemons right.
The
They
ones
loved
they
them.
had, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, well, Jesse
I just
didn't.
love them.
Jesse didn't like Wobbuffet very much, but
Yeah.
Also, I love how like as the series went on, like and they added more Pokemon, like their like intro would just get progressively longer each time.
Yes.
Also, Meowth was just like his own character most of the
Meow.
time.
Well, because he's also the only Pokemon that can talk, and none of the other ones can talk. Well, minus Mewtwo.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's the only one that can talk out of any of them. So he's iconic for that reason.
Yeah. Their whole gimmick is funny because they're literally they're just there for comic relief most of the time, and then when they inevitably get defeated, they just get blasted off into fucking the stratosphere.
Blasting off again.
Yeah.
And their poses. They had great poses.
They did. And they always would just appear, and like the kids would always be like, how did we not see you coming? And it's like, yeah, I know. How did you not?
Yeah, you fucking idiots.
Oh man. What was another good thing with them? Well, I always remember early on too, like James had a different voice actor who was like wicked, sinister, and dark, and then they changed it to Eric Stewart, who just made him a goofball, basically.
Yeah. Honestly, though, it fits them so much better. Them as goofballs, it's so much better.
Yeah, I love how like Misty would always just berate Ash like all the time as well.
Mm. Yeah, well, I mean, Ash deserves it. He's a little shit.
I love how too, like Ash. The reason he ends up with Pikachu is because he shows up late to like Professor Oaks, and all the other Pokemon are already taken.
And he gets the one that like just hates everyone.
Yeah. But then he ends up getting all the starters anyways.
Yes, and he gets the best boy.
Yeah, who's such a
the Bulbasaur episode with the Bulbasaur forest and the Bulbasaur song. My favorite episode.
Bulbasaur being a little prick, not wanting to evolve.
He's like, no, I don't want to.
Ash, that was common with Ash. Like he'd have like Pokemon that he'd just keep at base level and never train, and then like,
and then be like, why do I suck at battles?
Yeah,
I don't train my Pokemon.
Well, he had Charizard, and Charizard was a fucking asshole. Just burn him all the time.
Well, yeah, because Charizard looked at him and was like, why aren't you training all the other ones? Like, come on, be fair,
well,
dude.
they were playing off the whole if you get a traded because the Charizard wasn't his. It was he got it from another trainer. And then they were playing up the whole idea of once it gets too high leveled, it won't listen to you because it doesn't respect you. And basically that was that the Charizard didn't respect him anymore. And would just constantly like not listen and cause trouble until it finally had its like redemption episode a few episodes later.
Well, Ash deserved everything. What was that? What was that? What was that in your hand?
It's been a drink that I've been drinking this entire episode.
Well, I didn't see it until just then. Tell me the facts. The nutritional facts. Dun, dun, dun.
Anyways, though, can you not?
Just say one fact, please.
No.
No, please, just one. Just tell us the calories, please.
I'd rather take my trusty frying pan and turn it into a drying pan.
No, just tell me one fact. Tell me how many grams.
This joke is stupid. Let's move on.
No, it's not. It's not stupid. It means something to me. Please.
You're derailing the episode. Let's move on.
The episode is always derailed when I'm here. Anyways, guys, thanks so much for watching the gaming.
We're not even over yet.
Boo!
Anyways,
Don't me. Don't you You chose this. Accept it.
So eventually he does end up going to like the final tournament, and like for like all the series for a long time he would always get to the end and then just lose.
Yeah, because he sucks.
Yeah. Also,
Ash
he
is
had
the
like
worst character slash trainer. I'm
Ash had
glad
like
they finally retired him because one, he needs to grow up. He's been 10 for too long.
he had 5 birthdays during the series.
And how is he not 15?
I
Why is
know.
he still 10?
Well, I always remember because like the first season ended, and then like
Oh wait, that's
Brock.
not 10.
It doesn't matter.
I-
But I always remember because like the first season ended, and then Brock like goes away for a season, and then we have this like filler season of like the Orange Islands, where it's just like we're just going around these islands and doing a gym leader challenge that means nothing in the long run.
Yeah.
Like because Ash, I believe, wins like the Orange Islands season, but it doesn't count because it's stupid. Um, and they had that new guy Tracy who like followed them around for a while.
Yeah. I don't remember Tracy.
The only thing I remember from this season is the song because it was Pokemon World.
I don't remember the song.
You
I'm
know?
telling you, I don't really remember anything past the first season.
All right.
It's bad. But
Then
you
and
can
that,
continue.
well, no, if you're not going to be able to contribute, I'm not going to bother. So we
Well,
might as
I
well.
just don't really remember, like, because I don't remember the Orange Islands. Like, I really just remember that first, season. Like, I don't know, it just wasn't very memorable to me, I guess.
Well, you mentioned stuff that happened after the Orange Islands
Oh,
multiple
I
times.
did?
Yeah.
I remember it all kind of flow. I mean, like, maybe, like, Indigo to Johto. And, like,
Yeah.
but, like, once we get to the next, like, when Misty's retired, I don't know. Maybe I just remember bits and pieces, but yeah, I don't remember anything with May, or any of the other ones after that. But I remember the band episodes because those I just remember seeing like clips of.
Well, in that case, we might as well cap it off by talking about the movie
The movie.
because the movie was pretty ridiculous.
Mm.
I
They
always
had
remember
many a movie.
well, they had many a movie, but the ones in particular that we remember the most were the first 3. And I always remember like the first movie in particular because it had like that opening skit with it was like the vacation where they're all like all the Pokemon are just chilling and Charizard's being a prick and gets his head stuck in a pipe and they have to rescue him. I remember the movie though just because it was like really dark. Like Ash dies and their tears.
Oh yeah, I always forget. Like Ash dies. I'm like,
Ash dies and their tears bring him back to life.
I'm sorry. I still remember. Well, yeah, because he becomes like stone or something, right?
Yeah.
Honestly, they should have just left it as that killed him off and made the new.
One of my
character.
favorite jokes someone mentioned, it was like a commentary of a fan commentary of the film I was watching like years ago, and my favorite joke in that was like someone was like, "I don't know what's sadder, the fact that they're crying that he's dead, or the fact that their tears bring him back to life."
Hey, at least no Furry kissed him like in Sonic.
My favorite is that when he's dead, Pikachu just shocks him repeatedly.
He's like, "Come on, wake up, you motherfucker! I'm hungry."
Yeah, that was a weird movie.
I feel like Miss Pooh, my cat, has Pikachu vibes. Like little shit Pikachu vibes. Like I feel like she has that in her. Do
Maybe,
you see it?
maybe a little. Oh, do you remember the SS Anne episode where they're on the ship and the ship sinks?
No, I don't remember that.
That was early on in the series.
What?
Yeah, and they get stranded on. They have to escape the sunken ship, and that was
yeah, I remember that.
that was like the first time that Jesse and James got duped by the Magikarp salesman. Because I remember they have to escape using the Magikarp, and then like they get so pissy at it, they like yell at it that the Magikarp evolves into a Gyarados and tries to fucking kill them.
Good. Good.
I remember Pokemon 2000, the movie as well, because like you can't forget that one because of the fucking abomination of a CGI like airship that was in that movie.
CGI at that time was something else.
Yeah, that movie was bizarre, especially the fucking boat that they used to get up the mountain. That's like the fucking hero of the movie. That one was pretty good. And then there was the third movie with Entei and the Crystal Castle. I remember that one
Yes.
vividly as well.
No,
I
I
remember
remember that one pretty good too.
I just remember those movies because like they would always be on like at like school like, whenever they needed something like in the after school program to watch.
Oh, really? I don't remember that.
You were playing with dolls in the corner because you
I
didn't want to be
wasn't.
part of the big group.
Yeah, exactly what I say when I mean I'm an introvert. I wanted to be left alone.
Yeah. Uh Also we were in different grades, so like you weren't always there. But
Yeah, that is true.
yeah,
But
Pokemon
I
anime
can't
is
believe
weird.
how long it's been out too.
It's still going.
Like it's still going and it's I mean now it's um
Exclusively a Netflix thing now. It's not even aired on TV anymore.
yeah. I mean that makes sense. I mean especially with
1,294 episodes.
wow. That's I think that's more than One Piece, which is why I won't be
True.
going back and rewatching Pokemon at any point. Well,
True.
and Horizons is a whole new cast, right? Like
Yeah,
it's a
they
whole new like they finally retired Ash, which I mean, good. He's been 10 for too long. He needs to grow up.
well Ash finally won the Pokemon Championship like at the end. Um
Boo.
and I always thought it was hilarious because they show the crowd cheering for him, and literally, like, out of all his companions he's made over the years, the only one that came was fucking Dawn. No one else came. It's
Everyone
like,
else is just like, oh, this little fucktard finally did it. Well, too bad. Or they were like, oh, this kid's gonna fail again. I'm not gonna
also,
waste my
like,
time.
Ash's design over the years got so fucking weird. Like, he got super anime
Oh,
towards
I
the
want
end.
to look. Yeah, I want to look at. Well, I mean, style has significantly changed since the 90s when this came out. I mean, and animation quality as well has
Mhm.
gotten um much better. I kind of want to see though. Oh, here we go. This is a nice little oh, I hate when it does that. There we go. Like his original. Well, I mean, I his his design up until like I'm looking at like 2013 is when his eyes changed and then he got kind of weird looking.
Well,
But
he
like
had the same original design up until like the advanced era, where they when he went to Hoenn, because then
yeah,
then it would be like they change his outfit after every cast change.
yeah,
Because I remember in Black and White, they made his eyes brown after, despite being black for like the entire
yeah.
series.
That's the one where like you can clearly see is different. And then after that, Alolan, they just decided to like make a whole new design.
Yeah, he's a new character now. Like his facial structure is completely different. Um,
I like this comment on Reddit where it's like, man, there was an 11-year period where he just didn't move at all. And to me, I'm like, well, he didn't age either, so that makes sense
yeah,
since he's still 10.
yeah, it's just bizarre. Like I never the logic of Pokemon, like it's the way that they're trying to justify it. All those series, like he explored all those regions in 1 year. That totally happened.
Yeah, that very much makes sense. A child with no money, no job is able to travel the world at zero cost.
Yeah, the Pokemon universe never has made sense in that way. Like,
Yeah,
I mean, granted, I think actually one of the later seasons he actually ends up going to school because
finally.
they do like a school thing. I think Sword and Shield era
Ugh,
they kind of tried to do that.
there's a
Um,
CGI Ash. I hate that.
that was a one-off movie
That's very gross. No wonder it's what only. Why did it make Bulbasaur look so grumpy? He
because he's tired of Ash's shit.
looks so mad.
I
Like
mean,
look at
would if you were Ash's Pokemon, wouldn't you be mad?
wait, just look at the. I mean, yes, especially if I was a bull. But look how pissed this Bulbasaur looks.
He's just done with
he
Ash's
looks
shit.
he looks pissed. Like,
Ugh.
that was funny. Sorry, I've never seen that before. Oh my god, there's some things that they didn't need to do that.
I still think the funniest thing is like how many people stopped watching the show after like they like stopped having Brock appear. Like how many people just were like it's not funny anymore.
Brock did make the show
He had a lot of one-liners. Like he was also a fucking weirdo.
creepy.
like also the running joke too with like the Officer Jennies and the Nurse Joys, and how there's just millions of them.
Oh yeah, they're just clones.
Yeah, there's just
Clones
thousands
everywhere.
of them. That was always funny. Also, one thing I hated about the later seasons was like they started this like weird thing with like anytime he went to a new region after Johto, where Ash would be like, "I'm gonna get rid of all my Pokemon and start over fresh." And it's like,
Yeah.
you dumbass. This is why you suck.
I mean, like, come on, don't abandon your friends, please. They're your friends. You raise them, treat them right.
And he'd like occasionally bring one out every now and then. It'd be like, "Oh, cool, a Pokemon," and it's like, "Nope,
Nope.
it's gone next episode."
Womp, womp, womp. Yeah, there was definitely some choices that were good choices, and then there was definitely some bad choices that Pokemon made. But oh well.
I love the scene. There's a scene in the Hoenn era where they're in the middle of a desert, and they're like they're out of water, and they're like, "What are we gonna do?" And everyone's like, and they have like 5 water Pokemon. It's like, you dumbasses, you're surrounded by water.
Yeah, but I mean, where does the water come from?
It's not important.
But it is. Is it
No.
coming from the Pokemon? Is it pee? Is it pee water? No, just kidding.
Would you rather die of dehydration or drink some Pokemon water?
But yeah.
It's a real question.
Yeah. Do you think minions would be like Pokemon?
I don't know.
Like, do you think you could put a minion in a Pokeball?
Oh, I also remember like when
Why aren't you answering?
If you want to shove a minion in a Pokeball, go for it.
Okay.
I'm just thinking of that goddamn Smosh clip of like if Pokemon were real and they open the Pokemon, it's a crushed Pikachu inside, and I'm just like, that's fucked.
Yes, but
Oh, do you remember the Pokemon toys that were killing kids?
no.
There was a thing for a while, like, so Pokemon has some of the most fucked up like out besides the show like stuff like that happened in the real world. Like there was like these Burger King Pokemon toys, and then the whole thing was like it was a Pokeball that it would open up, and then like there was a Pokemon inside. But like there was like 4 kids that like they got the ball, like it was just big enough that it could perfectly seal over their nose and mouth, and like they'd suffocate to death.
That is one thing that toy designers always have to remember. A kid will eat it.
Oh yeah, it's just things like that would happen, but like it was always connected to like Pokemon. Like there was like the satanic panic thing for a while where like people thought Pokemon was like the devil.
Oh, also like the what's it called? The PETA things too.
Yeah, those are pretty bad.
PETA went also back to Pokemon. It was like, it's a cartoon. Like, well, it's an anime. Calm down.
Also, do you remember the early Pokemon where there was like regular animals and then they just kind of stopped appearing after a while?
Yeah. I mean, it didn't really make sense, in terms of the universe. Like, it's either you have Pokemon or you have regular animals. Figure it out.
Because I remember there was like a dog early on, and then they just kind of forgot about that.
Yep. Because then you got like just dog Pokemon.
Yeah, like they kind of phased that out later on. Like I always remember too, like when Misty gets the Togepi for the first time, because I remember Ash finds the egg and then they just steal it from him. They're like, "No, it's mine now," and he's like, "Hey." And then Misty ends up with it because it thinks it thinks that she's its mama.
Yes. And then comes her little carrying purse for the rest of the show.
Until it evolves and she has to let it go.
Be free. Be free.
Anything else major on the show? That's a no.
I'm tired. I got the tired brain.
I mean that's nothing new.
But seriously though, do you think a minion could quantify as a Pokemon?
I'm sure you could shove one in a Pokeball. It probably will die, but that won't be a loss.
I don't want it to die. I just want my minion. I want a minion. I want a minion.
All right. But yeah, so Pokemon anime, a big part of our childhood.
Yes.
Still going.
Yes, still going to this very day. With a new protagonist who won't be 10, hopefully forever.
There's 2 protagonists now. I think there's a boy, and a girl.
I have not. I just remember seeing it everywhere. Like, oh my god, they're finally retiring Ash.
I have no interest in watching Pokemon ever again. If I ever do, it's gonna be the old stuff.
No, same. Like if I ever go back, it will be the stuff we grew up with on the VHS player.
Yeah. Like literally I stopped watching at the end of Diamond and Pearl, and then that's kind of just where I fell off. So
yeah.
Because
that was pretty common for most people.
Well, everyone just Pokemon burnout is a real thing, and everyone kind of goes through it at one point or another.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was Pokemon. Not much to say. I think at the time of this coming out, we still got a couple more weeks before Retro World. Although by the time this is out, Retro World
is not this weekend, but next weekend.
Next weekend, so a couple of weeks before we record the Retro World retrospective.
Yes.
Yeah. But anyways, guys, once again, thanks for joining us on the Gaming and Collecting.
Wait. Thanks for joining us on the Gaming and Collecting Podcast. The Gaming and Collecting Podcast is available on all your favorite podcasting platforms, specifically Spotify, Apple.
Where else? YouTube.
Pretty
much
all your favorite networks that you have, because we distribute them to all of them. See, I'm stealing Bill's spotlight. It's great.
Well, that's cool and all, but now I'm going to talk about the SuperPod Network. So we're also a member of the SuperPod Network of podcast. So we're also a member of the SuperPod Network of podcasters, and it's a pretty awesome place. There's a whole bunch of different shows, including obviously like SuperPod Saga, Retro Rehab, Super Ghost Radio, Novel Console, Remember 64, Bar Silence, Fine Time, Gaming Together, The Elder Trolls, Friday Night Gamecast, Tommy's Video Game Ride Along, and all of our GNC shows over there. Cool stuff that we have blogs, videos, and all sorts of stuff. Definitely check out the website. The link's down in the description. And other than that, guys, once again, we will see you all later.